Thank you so much, and welcome to the 2024 Career Pathways Program Information Session. We are so glad that you're here with us, and we're thrilled to have so many folks from all over the country that are registered for this webinar. So please go ahead and drop in the chat where you're joining us from. And as you do that, I'll just share a few webinar reminders before we get started. All right. Okay, folks, so please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen to share your questions. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation, and it'll make it much easier for me to review all the questions, so please use the Q&A function. This call will be recorded and will be posted on our website as a resource for you to access at any moment. And if you need any support during the call, please send a direct message to the Council on Foundations in the chat, or email us at webinars@cof.org. And finally, if you'd like to view the auto-generated subtitles during the webinar, please click Live Transcript at the bottom of your screen and then select Show Subtitles or View Full Transcript. All right, those are the reminders. Please make sure to put your questions in the Q&A and then the support in the chat. Great, so hello. My name is Daniela Rodriguez-Vanf. I'm the Director of Leadership Development and Training here at the Council on Foundations. I have been with the Council for almost 7 years, and 2 of those years I've had the privilege of getting to work with this program and the opportunity to continue to offer the program. It is core work for the Council and for me, and it has given me the opportunity to and my colleagues as well, to meet and get to know incredible leaders in the sector, such as you all. So I'm thrilled to be here, happy to answer any questions, and very excited about bringing folks along for 2024. Okay, so folks, we'll cover today, we'll get to understand the why and how the Career Pathways program started. I'll go through what the program, what's different about the program. I'll share goals and the focus areas for the different learning sessions. We'll go through the structure of the 2024 program, the format. I'll give you a sense of the time commitment and the curriculum. And we'll go through the application process, and we'll close our time together with a Q&A. Okay, let me just take a quick look at the chat to see if I've missed anything. Thank you. All right. Wonderful. All right. Okay, folks, so the why. The Career Pathways pilot program was launched in 2011 as a response to, surprise to no one, the lack of representation and leadership in C-suite roles in philanthropy, as well as the lack of clarity in the pathways to senior leadership for mid-career professionals, particularly those folks, those leaders seeking to advance equity, as well as the limited opportunities to connect with other like-minded philanthropic professionals. But here we are 10 years later with an alumni group of almost 200 leaders, and the program continues to support the sector in redefining the different ways you can lead in philanthropy, as well as the different ways that success can look like. We explore different ideas for challenging the status quo and creating equity in your organizations and in the sector as a whole, and ways of continuing to cultivate powerful network of bold, representative, and inclusive leaders that we need in the field. So folks, the goals of the program, what we want to accomplish at the end, what we want you to walk away with when you leave the program, but stay in our network of alumni, is for you to advance your leadership skills by bringing awareness to your own strengths, the uniqueness of your story, your voice, your intuition, to build a network of peers that is cross-sector, cross-foundation types, across functions, but all invested in advancing equity and the greater good. And understanding the executive process, what is it, how it works, what it means to go through it, how uncomfortable it can be to go through it, and And the last goal, to equip leaders with the ability to leverage your power to advance equity and philanthropy in whatever role you're in by demonstrating your vulnerabilities, understanding your privilege, and owning your authentic leadership styles. And folks, a few things of what the program, what we're not. The program does not focus on. One, we're not teaching you a step-by-step format on how to be a leader. This is not an A through Z, check boxes, I can do this, I'm a great public speaker. That is not what the program is focused on. We're also not teaching you the basics of DEI and racial equity. And we're not teaching you how to fix your institution. You're not coming in here and say, hey, there's a problem with this institution. This is what needs to be addressed. What we do offer is opportunities for skill building and strength defining your own and clarifying who you are as a leader, who you are and who you want to be, the kind of leader you have been. We'll also help you develop awareness of how your experiences and identities inform your leadership style, presence and strategies, how you're showing up, how you want to show up, and connecting you with peers and mentors so that you can explore different ideas and solutions to test and apply towards improving your institutions. And I'll just say very personally, that's something that I think is unique about this program, is that at its core, the program is designed with a deep understanding of the inherent inequities in philanthropy, both as a sector and in its origin, and the complexity and tensions and contradictions that many leaders face in running philanthropic institutions that have a mission of improving the greater good. And I think that something that we've seen is that leading institutions in this moment requires leaders to have clarity about who they are, about what they're about what they can offer, for them to be grounded, and for them to have a support system and a network of peers. And that's all the different areas that this program focuses on. So for me, that's something that's really important about what this program can offer. But don't take it from me. We can hear it from some of our former alumni. So I'll just show a brief 2-minute video.
The future of philanthropy requires innovation and new thought and energy, and career pathways is important for cultivating the future generation of leaders to do that.
The way it is actually structured is we have 4 cohorts. We meet them 4 times during the year. So each time you learn more, you build on the friendships you built during the last time.
It's given me an opportunity to really get to know a group of colleagues who have challenged me in ways that I hadn't had a chance to think before. These are people that I will have in my life for a very long time.
Where the council has really succeeded is by putting together a group of really talented individuals, really great people, incredible speakers, top-notch executive coaches, thought leaders from the nonprofit world. They create an environment and a space for self-reflection, professional growth that is unlike any experience that I've had before.
Career pathways is important because it invests in the future leadership of the philanthropic sphere, specifically those of us who might come from diverse backgrounds and might not have had access to the networks, the learnings, or even the rules of philanthropy. And it helps philanthropy live out one of its values, which I believe is to help achieve more equitable societies.
Career Pathways has been a great experience. I've learned a lot, and probably even more importantly, gotten to know some great people and learn from and with the group.
It's a great way to tap into philanthropy at large and to connect with like-minded people.
Inherently, by design, what we do in philanthropy is about a problem. So, the program really helps us to be hopeful messengers, be good visionaries of a better world.
The overall experience is fun and challenging. It's rigorous. It's the real thing. I've been growing tremendously through career pathways in all ways imaginable.
I really enjoyed it. I've met some really wonderful people, and the panelists and the faculty and the COF staff have all been really phenomenal and great. I really just enjoy the camaraderie that I feel when I come here.
All right, everybody. So lovely to see those faces. So let me tell you about the 2024 program, what to expect from this program. Let me tell you first about the program components. So there are three main areas that we'll focus on. One is educational, the other is professional, and the other one's community. So on the educational side, we have 4 learning sessions that are mandatory in the program, and 2 of them will be in person and 2 will be virtual. The first and the last will be in person, so the one in March and the one in November when we're closed in our 9-month program will be in person, and the middle 2 will be virtual. The learning sessions have addressed different areas of focus, and they're multi-day and collaborative, usually around 3 days each. And we also have a self-study component to the live sessions that complements the work. So there'll be readings and videos and activities that we'll use through our learning management system, both either prior to the learning session, in preparation for the learning session, or in between, for work in between. We also have our professional offerings. So we have executive coaching for each individual participant. There will be 7 coaching sessions. And it's an opportunity to explore different career goals or obstacles that you might have. For some folks, it's the first time having an executive coach. And for some, they've had executive coaches before, but it's an opportunity to work in a different area of work. And then we have the home institution case study. Folks, this is a capstone project that you'll be focusing on throughout the program. And for me, this is a really unique opportunity for folks to explore and dedicate some time into a project that you can then use for many things. So for some folks, they've used the capstone project to explore a topic that they've been working on, an initiative that is aligned with the work they're currently doing. So it's a way to leverage that work internally in the organization, be it a presentation to the board or a new strategy or initiative for your organization. Other folks have used it as a way into a new area of work that they want to shift into, so as a career opportunity. Other folks have used it as practice because they want to be speakers at conferences for sessions. This could be a way for you to tackle either showcase the work that you've been doing or to tackle different work both at the philanthropic level or at your organization. There are many ways to use the capstone in a way that serves you in a very deep way to the things that your specific career goals and the direction that you're heading into. And folks, then we have the community piece. So for us, it's super important for our cohort to feel integrated into our alumni community. And so we bring in alumni to be mentors to our participants each year. So you'll have mentorship circles in between the learning sessions, and then you'll also be able to stay in touch virtually to share resources with each other in your reflections in our philanthropy exchange network. All of this and all the resources will be available to you forever, and you'll stay connected through our philanthropy exchange even after you graduate, and then added into the exchange that includes the entire alumni network. All right, so those are some of the components. All right, so let me talk a little bit about each learning session and the areas of focus. So we'll get started first with our welcome week. This is prior to meeting in person. This is just to make sure that you are set up for success for the next 9 months. You know what is required of you, what dates you need to defend, making sure that you have access to all of our platforms. You'll get to meet the executive coaches. You'll get to meet your cohort members and to start getting familiar with each other. And then after that, we'll meet together in person for our first learning session. And the focus of the first learning session is individual leadership. And here we will explore different leadership styles, the importance of self-mastery, and the reflective practice, explore different ways of how you lead, why you want to lead, how you like to lead going forward, ways of communicating your story, and having clarity about the values that are important to you right now. Learning session 2 will focus on field leadership, just being aware and finding some expertise in the field-wide issues that are present in philanthropy at the moment, how to navigate them. And also practice articulating your and sharing your vision and values of leadership vision. Learning session 3 is focused on organizational leadership. So this is about learning how, expanding your knowledge on foundation functions and departments, learning how to navigate different institutions, and we'll be able to hear from leaders of different departments and other C-suite and CEO alumni in these different areas of work. And then finally, we'll close our learning session 4 and be able to hear everyone's presentations and the work that they've been able to do throughout the program for their capstones. This is an opportunity also, not just in the presenting of it, of being able to formulate an idea that you're presenting to your peers, but also an opportunity to give feedback and enrich the projects of each person in your cohort as well. And we'll be able to close and celebrate together. And here are some dates, folks. So the program is 9 months. We'll get started in March and close in November. So like I mentioned, we'll have a program orientation prior to meeting in person in DC the week of March 20th and 22nd. Then we'll have our 2 virtual sessions, one in May and one in August. And then we'll close in mid-November in person and with the location that will be determined shortly. And like I mentioned, in between, you'll have your individual coaching sessions, your mentorship circle meetings, community building sessions. We'll also have some executive search sessions for you to attend throughout the 9 months. But the main mandatory sessions will be learning sessions 1, 2, 3, 4, and our program orientation. All right. And below are the program costs for council members and non-members, including also the opportunity for a scholarship. We are lucky that the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation supports us with offering scholarships for this program through the Waltman program, scholarship program, and they're allocated based on need. And it's 2 separate applications. So one application, I'll actually get to that in a second, but I'll just mention that really briefly. One application is your main application to the program, and there's the second application if you're hoping to apply to the scholarship, the Waltman scholarship. Just wanted to make sure that it's 2. All right, folks, so eligibility. So to be eligible for the program, applicants must be an employee, a current employee of a grant-making organization, foundation, or philanthropic institution of all range of foundation types. If you want clarity about that and you're not sure, just feel free to reach out to us. Applicants must have between 5 or 7 years of mid to senior level experience and have a serious interest in executive level position in the field of philanthropy as a goal and as a direction where you want your career to go. As well as receive a recommendation from the applicant's home institution to be submitted through your application process. All right. So what's the application process? So once you confirm your support for the program with your institution, the only things that we need is for you to submit an online application. The online application will have information about you. We'll ask for you to attach the recommendation letter if you have it. If not, it can be emailed to us. And there will be 6 short essay questions. Those questions you can see in obviously on the online form, but they're also listed in our frequently asked questions page that I'm going to ask my colleague Caroline to share in the chat if you want to get a sense of what the questions are. It should be very straightforward, but there are about 6 questions for you to draft. If you're logged into our platform, once you open the application form, it should save your answers, but my recommendation is for you to draft them before and then go in and add your information. Is much easier to make sure you don't lose your work. And like I mentioned, there's a second application for the Waltman Scholarship. It's very short, and that one's due on Wednesday, November 8th. So main application Wednesday, November 1st, the Waltman application November 8th, just a bit more time after it. And folks, we will notify in terms of the review. So your applications will be submitted to us by the beginning of November. We'll take November and part of December to do a application review of all the submissions, and the reviews are done by the council staff and also alumni that volunteer to review applications as well. And we notify folks at the beginning of January. You'll get a notification of the status of the program and the scholarship and enrollment. All right. One other note that I wanted to add is that we will only admit one employee per organization or institution. So if for any reason there are multiple people applying for the same institution, you can still apply, but we will only admit one person per institution. So just make sure that people have awareness about that, especially very, very large, particularly private institutions that have a lot of employees. Want to make sure that you're aware of who's applying to the program as well. All right, and like I mentioned, the Waltman Scholarship, also thanks to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, can offer a full or partial tuition covered based on need. So this will only cover the registration fee. It will not cover travel or any travel expenses to the in-person events. And the application due date, November 8th, you'll get notified at the same time that you receive information about your admittance into the program. All right. And folks, before I go into questions, I just wanted to highlight a few options that we are offering. We have 2 office hours, one that'll be next week, and then another later in the month on October 25th. These will be with me, and I will be able to answer any specific questions that you want one-on-one. If these dates don't work for you, please feel free to email me directly or to send us a note. Caroline will be sharing my email in the chat, and I'm happy to hop on the phone with you or on Zoom, and we can I can answer any specific questions that you might have about the program. All right, but we might be able to get to some specific questions that you have in your respective experience. All right. So folks, that was my presentation and a high level of what the program offers. There's more information about the program online. There's also more information on, we have our alumni list also listed online. And so I wanted to offer that as well in case you wanted to explore more. But I'm happy to jump in with any questions. Let me just take a look and see what's been submitted. All right. And I see a ton of questions in the chat as well, so give me 3 seconds. Mark, I see your question. Yes, we've had folks from federal grant-making agencies eligible for the program. It's not just for private foundations. We have community foundations, corporate foundations, all kinds of foundations. It has to have a funding component, and we have had folks in the past from federal grant-making agencies. So definitely feel free to apply. And Gretchen, your question, Gretchen's question is, could you please give an example of topics in the learning sessions on transitions in philanthropy today? I mean, they vary significantly, but I think some of the things that we have covered in the past could be the way that different institutions are responding to, it could be, how institutions are responding to different things that are happening in their communities, or it's mostly like contextual things. How different organizations are tackling changes in legislation, charitable giving, pressures on a responding to the economy, a response to COVID. There's a number of different things of that are in the ether of how organizations should respond and be navigating the sector, not just the issues that they're tackling with their own respective strategies. They vary significantly year to year, and we also see them play out in some of the capstone projects that people tackle. So I hope that's helpful. I see another question here. Of course, Gretchen, no problem. Could you clarify what qualifies as mid to senior level experience? Does it need to be 5 to 7 years in the same organization? It does not need to be 5 or 7 years in the same organization. And the experience level is tricky because different institutions can be, some of them very small and some of them can be very large. And so just by looking at your resume, I won't be able to tell if you in your institution you've had what we would categorize as mid to senior level experience. I think that's part of the essays question, where you have deduced in that you're mid-career is what we're asking for. Folks that have been in roles where it's not an entry-level role, where you've been in mid to senior level roles or responsibilities, even if your title doesn't say it. And that's what we're trying to say, especially in very small institutions where there isn't that much of a range in the categories of roles. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm happy to chat with you if you wanted to get a gut check on whether you have enough experience or not. But definitely feel free to reach out for anything specific. All right. Caroline, any other questions that are coming in? I see key dates. I also see a question about the PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint itself won't be shared, but the recording of it will be posted on the application website. So you'll be able to see it as well later. All right, I'm just scanning through. Folks, anything else that's on your mind about the program? There's also some opportunities if you had to if you wanted more information about what the experience is like. We're happy to connect you to some folks as well. So definitely just feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the chat, Daniela Rodriguez .rodriguez at cof.org. And we're happy to connect with you and answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much for coming. And we hope that you apply and join us. We are looking forward to getting to know you. Thank you so much for your time.